everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Taylor.
I'm Blanca, and today is Wicked Wine Wednesdays,
where we talk about true crime and sample wines.
Today we'll be discussing the Stephen McDaniel case.
So if you like wine and true crime, don't forget to
Like, comment, and subscribe.
So before we dive in, I just want to let you know that we will be talking about the wines that we tried at the end of the video. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned until then. And we will be posting a video every other Wednesday. So we also have a beautiful, beautiful, exciting thing to share with you guys.
Very, very tasty little treat.
Yes, it's we worked with a girl on Instagram named Grazebabes. She's awesome. She makes all these little charcuterie boxes. She also does tables, and we're excited to dive in. We've been staring at it while we've been getting ready for this, and if it tastes as good as it looks, we are definitely in for a treat.
It's so beautiful.
Yes.
The flowers are so cute.
Yeah.
Everything. I love it.
Super good. So she also said that she had got a Cabernet Cheddar, which I'm pretty excited to try. And yeah, while we're talking about the case, one of us will be munching on this, and we'll let you know what we think at the end as well. Super excited, and thank you to Grazebabes for this.
So excited.
So this case is about a young man named Stephen McDaniel. He was born in 1989. And he was studying law in Georgia. And he seemed to be a pretty all over decent guy, but he did end up murdering his next door neighbor and classmate, Lauren Giddings. She was a few weeks away from graduating from her class and becoming a full-blown attorney. And he took that away from her on Sunday morning. He and her were friends because she trusted him. He would come over and talk to her, and she saw him as a friend and nothing more. And he had made advances to her a couple times, asked her out on dates and stuff, and she denied them. And he seemed to take it okay. She didn't think that he was threatening at all. And she would let him into her apartment willingly. He was somebody that she considered a friend.
I feel like that's always the worst part is like
when
they
you trust
start
somebody
off and like you think they're like your friend, you think they have all these good intentions, but then it's like I feel like with every pass they make, you do feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you keep thinking to yourself like,
yeah,
no, like I just want that friendship back, and then it's I don't know, it just sucks because it's like to have trust for somebody,
yeah,
and then be betrayed.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And she didn't know this, but he would videotape her in her house, like from her windows, or he would find a way into her apartment when she was gone and go through her belongings and sometimes watch her while she was sleeping. And she didn't know that, obviously, but she found it out.
Weird if she knew.
Yeah. She's like, yeah.
Just rolls over.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be so crazy.
I'd panic so hard. I'd be like, why are you in my apartment?
Yeah, like, what are you supposed to do at that point?
Now, if he wasn't already, like, creeper status from, like, watching her while she was sleeping, obviously it gets worse. So he goes and he steals the master key from the maintenance people from, like, their apartment building, and then decides to sneak into her apartment and is watching her sleep. He literally breaks in at 4:30 in the morning, watches her sleep for a few hours. The only reason she even knew he was there or even caught on to what was happening was the floorboard creaked. Now, that is what woke up Lauren, and unfortunately, it sent Stephen into panic mode because at this point now he's being caught in basically, I would say mischievous doings because honestly, like, I don't even know how else to put.
Yeah.
Creeper status, creeper doings, like, I don't know.
For sure.
But eventually, the floorboard creaks. She wakes up. He panics. He then goes and strangles her and then dismembers her body in the bathroom.
Her own bathtub.
Like, I just...
So,
like, for what? For what? Like,
I mean, because obviously he didn't want her to tell anybody that he was watching her.
I mean, obviously. But I mean, you couldn't just like rough her up and scare her into like not wanting to say things for like maybe a few years. Like, you have to go and murder her?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying roughing her up would have been any better,
Yeah. But without killing her.
I'm just saying there obviously was no need to murder her.
Yeah. And when he ended up chopping up her body, I think he chopped it up in about 5 pieces and then put it into 5 different trash bags and then disposed of the trash bags in separate trash bins throughout the university that they were going through too. And I'm like thinking like, why would you dispose of them at the school, at the sick? Like all of the trash bins were at the university. Not like I think he should have got away with it, but
thinking it out. I mean, any other person would have been like, it can't be on the same place of where you're at, because let's face it, if you're really going to commit a crime and you don't want to get caught, the first thing you want to do is going to make sure that the body isn't going to be found, and you're going to want to at least put it, you know, certain mileage amount away before people would want to like really think about maybe going further out. And so I feel like that would give you that time to really like collect what happened. Again, I'm not saying murder is good or anything like that. Obviously, I'm just describing patterns of what happened here. But
I think that he was panicked.
Yeah, I think it was just something that it was just basically that he panicked and he, like you said, just didn't want her to tell people how creepy he was.
It's crazy. Like if she would have told the cops that like he had been watching her, he would have probably did like a couple months in jail, if that, and then like
if anything, he probably would have just gotten like a slap on the wrist, maybe probation. Yeah. Like honestly, it wouldn't have been terrible. But no, you went and you murdered somebody. Like
and
how was that any better?
He thought it was better apparently. She was studying law, right? And she had told everybody she was going to be studying 24/7 for the bar. And so she told people that she was going to be busy and like not really contact people. So after about 3 days, they realized that she was missing, and her friends did. So they called the police and made a report, and then before the police got to her apartment, they went to her apartment and they came in with a spare key that they had to her apartment. And I guess Stefan had saw that they got there and decided to go over there and help them. And so he went into the apartment with her friends to like help them figure out what happened to their friend and where she could have gone and why she's missing.
I really like how the really, really guilty ones always try to help.
Yeah.
As if they didn't do anything. Like the last one when she was like, it wasn't me. I know everyone's saying it's me.
I was little. I couldn't have done it.
But like, my goodness, people. Well, stick out like a sore thumb, why don't you?
I think that's the thing too, is that I don't think they're trying to help. I think that they're trying to get like information to see like
where they're at in the case and things like that. So trying to see like where they could cover up or like where they
went wrong. Yeah, that's what I think it comes from.
But I mean, if the cops are already there, dude, you fucked up.
Yeah, for sure. Like obviously something's going on. So when they went to her apartment, all of her stuff was still there. Her purse, her phone, her ID, everything was still there. And so people realized that that wasn't normal. And when the police started doing the investigation, obviously they looked into her apartment and they thought like, what could have happened? And they were trying to come up with clues and find what happened. And they ended up finding a part of her body in one of the garbage bins. And they hadn't announced it yet. Stefan didn't know that they had found it yet.
Stefan really liked Lauren. That was just something that was known, obviously, through the advances that he had made to her, their friendship, and obviously the fact that she had even trusted him so closely. Now, when they are investigating, you know, her being missing, and how she had mentioned they do find a piece of her body. They found her torso in one of the dumpsters. Now, this was pure luck that they even found her torso, because the trash was supposed to be picked up that day, but they were running late. So thank you, trash man, for being late, because if you weren't,
Yeah.
who knows
The cops decided to just like search the dumpsters before
how delayed it would be.
Yeah.
And I mean, why wouldn't you? Because I mean, again, the first thing that you're going to look is for somebody being a rookie mistake. And obviously the first error you're going to want to find is going to be something near you, versus I feel someone that is like more prepared for this would be like not in the vicinity and versus outward.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, he is going along with the investigation, you know, trying to help police and things like that, and her friends, along with, you know, seeing if they can pinpoint anything for Lauren being missing. And then in the middle of an interview, they inform Stefan that they found a body. At this point, it is like almost if you're on the verge of like fainting, like right when like that white light hits you and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna pass out right now if I don't sit down or something like that.
He stops and he goes, body?
A body? Very, very confused. And the news lady tries to throw it off a little too, because she's like, well, we don't know that it's her body. We just know that they found a body. And he basically just panics. He can't even finish this interview. It gets to the point where he's just like a body, and then he's
like, I have to sit down.
He doesn't even know what to do. And then he does say, like, I need to go sit down. Now, obviously, I'm not Stefan. I don't know what was going through his brain. But part of me can only imagine that during the interview, when he was told that a body was found, that the reason he panicked so hard was because he immediately was thrown back into everything that happened. Now, once the investigation has happened, you know, all the court trial, things like that, he does plead guilty to pretty much breaking into her apartment, strangling her, moving her body into the bathroom so that he could rip it up and destroy the evidence. He pretty much cleaned up everything, flushed a lot of things down the toilet, and pretty much pretended that Lauren was still alive despite what he had just done. Now, earlier I did mention how he had broken into her apartment at pretty much like 4:30 in the morning. Now, when he had done that, he had worn like basically a robber mask. I don't know what you want to call it. Ski mask, robber mask. I'm gonna call it a robber mask.
There's ski masks. There's no such thing as a robber mask.
Well, poor skiers, man. Like,
yeah, true.
I mean, they're just trying to ski, and people are using it to go rob people. So it's gonna be a robber's mask. That's what it's gonna be called. I'm gonna change it, guys. Let's get this trending.
Okay, robber's mask it is.
Anyway, so he's wearing the ski mask, and at this point, obviously, like I said, that floorboard had gone off, and at that point, Lauren is panicked, and she's like, what the hell? Like, get the F out, because who wouldn't tell anybody else to get the F out of their place at 4:30 in the morning?
Like, what are you doing?
Like, seriously, who are you? Why are you here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just, obviously, she was uncomfortable in her own home and requested for somebody to leave. And because he was doing his creepy ass little thing and got caught, he panicked and immediately leaped onto her. And that's when he began to strangle her. And we did find out that she was able to pull the ski mask off of his face in the midst of being strangled, and actually begged for Stefan to, like, please stop, because obviously she wanted to live.
Like,
and
she actually said his name. Like, she knew who he was and said his name to, like, please
Stefan,
stop.
Please stop. And to me, that's just even more heartbreaking, because again, it's like, you trust somebody, you're letting them into your home, you're letting them into your life, and then literally the last thing that you see before you leave is some person that decided that because you turned them down and they weren't okay with it, that they were just going to be creepy, and when you panicked at the first sight, next thing you know, you're murdered. And that's not fair. honestly, and I'm not saying like, you know, like men should be killed or anything like that,
Mhm.
but like it sucks as a female. Like that one girl that just died by like walking home,
Mhm.
like it just sucks.
There's actually somebody that just, it's so sad, but a mother, I don't know if you heard this story, a mother and her 8-year-old daughter got stabbed to death like right up the street from me.
As a female, like you can't do anything,
Mhm.
and then it's like you feel like you need a male to be safe in the world.
Yeah, and-
but then it's like, how are you supposed to be able to like know that you can trust that male and that male isn't going to kill you?
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is the Stefan, when he was talking to the reporters that he had that like panic attack, he told them, I wish I would have given Lauren a gun so she would have been able to protect herself. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, what? I don't understand his thought process. And that's kind of like selling himself out already, because she's just missing. And why would he think that something happened to her and that she needed guns to protect herself? You know what I mean? And it's just, he was still trying to protect her even after he murdered her. So after they found her torso and he got convicted and everything like that, he told them that he disposed of her body throughout the dumpsters and the rest of the school. And unfortunately, by the time he had told them that, it was too late. There was no way that they were gonna find these body parts. They are in a landfill somewhere. It's really sad because the family has no closure, really. To know that pieces of their daughter is out there is really sad. But he did end up getting life in prison, thank God. And
As he should.
yeah, and I mention this every time we come on here, but there is a guy, last time I said JCS Productions, it's JCS Criminal Psychology.
Okay.
He doesn't one about him as well, about Stefan, and the interview is something that you guys should really, really watch. It's one of the most interesting interviews ever. He actually makes the people that are doing the interrogation, the police officers, feel uncomfortable. And that's not something that is good, because obviously the person who committed the crime starts to get this sense of empowerment.
It should be the other way around. It should be them making them.
Yeah, and usually that's how it is. And
Chris Watts, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, spills all his guts.
Yeah, but in this interview, like, they start asking him, do you remember talking to us yesterday? And he's like, yes. Very just monotone. That's how he's talking the whole time. He just goes, yes. And every question they ask him, he goes, yes. And they're like, oh, like, you know, like, don't be playing games with us. And he's like, I'm not playing games. Like, that's how he talks throughout the whole time. And in the JCS Criminal Psychology one, he says that he's not sure if it's like he changed his character as a way of trying to play insane almost, or play crazy and get out of it, or if he actually is like having a complete mental break. In this interview, there's a part where the interrogator like sits across from him and like stares at him and is like looking at him, and he like does this weird like psycho look and like looks at him, and you could tell that the interrogator gets uncomfortable, and he kind of like backs up and he's like
Am I the crazy person?
Yeah. But I mean, like, I would be freaked out too. I'd be like, hold on, what? Like, don't look at me like that. But
stop.
Yeah, but after he ended up going to jail and
I mean, at least he pled guilty to everything.
Yeah, it wasn't something that had to be like forced out of him. But let's not forget that after he went to jail, he tried to make an appeal and said that he was treated unfairly.
He was treated unfairly. There was like talks about how the cops didn't give him medical attention when he needed it, and that after the interview that was like aired on TV, he ended up having like a seizure. And then there was talks about how like the cops had told him that he was going to be sexually assaulted in prison, and it was just
That
like,
was, like,
it
his-
was literally like a 2-page letter. He basically pled guilty, but then gave this letter still. Like, yeah, I'm guilty, but like, this is what happened to me. Like, can't I be like, you know, slightly less deemed for, or like slightly less dinged since you guys did this to me? But
Yeah.
it's like, no, bro,
I mean,
you killed somebody.
He did say, he was like, this doesn't excuse my actions, but I'm just like trying to say like what happened to me. But like continuing it with like an appeal.
How do you say? It's not trying to, but sounds like you're trying to.
The court obviously was like,
nah, bro.
yeah. But that's Stephen McDaniel. And we're going to talk about the wines that we tried and end this video on a more positive note.
Definitely not one of our craziest cases.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Was still very
regardless.
Still very sad. We tried to keep today's case at a minimum because we had the charcuterie board, and obviously we don't want to lack on this. Delicious, by the way.
I'm like, it's
So
already
good.
like half gone at this point.
So good. Like, wow. She definitely...
Definitely 10 out of 10 would
Mhm.
recommend.
Yeah. If you're looking for a good charcuterie box, or she does, like I said, she does tables for like parties. Grazebabes. So you can follow her on Instagram at Grazebabes, and you can check out her website, which is www.grazebabes.com. She's really great. But so the wine that we tried today is called Dark Waves.
The dark waves. Hold on, can you guys see that? I really like the
Design.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you always read my mind.
I'm like, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's definitely a cool design.
Mhm.
And
It is a red wine. It is not a Cabernet. Shocker.
yeah,
I know.
it's a California blend. I'm sure it has some Cabernet in there somewhere.
I'm sure.
But
sure.
it contains sulfates.
So
Again.
if you're allergic, no, not this wine.
Mhm.
No. No. I sounded like Eli for a minute. No.
Do not drink this wine. You didn't even try macaron.
I haven't tried it one yet.
What flavor do you think this one is in? Is this?
Is it a...
Do you want pink or blue?
I want the blue one.
Okay.
Do you want the blue one?
Choose.
Choose. Want to try it?
What flavor is it?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even finish the wine.
I know, we didn't. We got into a George macaron.
This is how you know it's really good. So, it's a California red blend. It's more on the bold side than the light side. It's a little bit more tannic than smooth, which I kind of get. It's like, I don't know, has that like tanginess to it. It's more on the dry side than the sweet side, and it's more acidic than soft.
I feel like it was really sweet. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
You also got your cherry, your cranberry, red fruits. You got some blackberry, some plum, dark fruits. Whatever the heck that means. What would be your dark fruits? Like these grapes? Like my these ones?
Like these grapes, probably.
Ooh, look at those. Look at those. With those
Oh.
cheese. With that cheese.
Beautiful cheese connected. Yeah.
It's all delicious. I ain't gonna lie.
I think this is what brie.
And I'm a very picky person.
Yeah. Anyway,
Although, the little cheesecake. I just don't like cheesecake. But it wasn't like terrible.
I don't think it's cheesecake though. I think it's a certain kind of cheese, but it's really good.
I don't know. It wasn't terrible, but
It was
not my
normal.
jam.
Yeah. It goes well with beef, lamb, veal, poultry, and at this point, cheese and fruit.
Like your charcuteries.
Mm-hmm. A charcuterie bread.
I'm like, wait, was I supposed to say something like that? As I'm about to go take a bite.
Go ahead.
I don't even know what I was supposed to say.
Did you like the wine?
It was delicious. Honestly.
I thought,
I'm ready to have another glass and finish this damn box.
Mhm.
Honestly.
I keep having food.
Not
stuck
that,
to my-
you know, Stephen McDaniel wasn't interesting, but
Yeah, but I'm like, come
this
on.
just tastes so good. Maybe you got a picnic on the beach. Maybe you're about to propose to your girl. I don't know. Get this box. Just
It's so good. It has
Yum.
olives, grapes, like a little chocolate pudding thing. It has strawberries. It has like 3 different kinds of crackers.
a lot of cheese, meats.
Yeah, different kinds of cheese, like 2 different kinds of meat. It's got blueberries, even some chocolates in here.
Olives, macaroons, chocolate pudding, I think.
Yeah,
Or something. Chocolate mousse, maybe.
yeah. And then it has pretzels. And I don't know what this is, but it's really good. I think it's like a dried apricot now.
Oh, maybe. Does it taste apricot-y? I don't even know what I was going to say. Tape? Does it tape?
I don't really know. It's just really good.
So, go follow her. Go follow us. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And comment. Unless you're going to be mean, don't.
Some of these comments have been real interesting.
They're like not really mean, but kind of just like, what?
Oh my god, the last one that was like losers, and you were like, let's go.
Yeah, somebody commented on one of our videos and commented losers. And I'm like, okay. So I commented back and I was like, get in, losers, we're going shopping. They actually ended up deleting their comment.
They probably felt so stupid. They were like, oh, she wasn't offended.
I was like, I think it's funny. We actually got another one too. I wonder if they were going to be watching this, but we got another comment too that said, we should just make a video of like reading hate comments when we get enough of them.
I'm in.
But yeah, leave us hate comments. We might shout you out. But good. Are you okay? Oh, I forgot too. It also comes with a little, like, what is this? Strawberry reserves. Little. It was really good too. I put it on my cheese. I actually don't know what I'm supposed to put it on, but the cheese was really good.
Oh my god, I don't know. I like coughed.
These aren't really pretzels. I don't know what these are. They taste like little dried garlic breadsticks.
Mm. I don't know what that sound was. I'll be real honest.
Anyway, as you can tell, this charcuterie board's got us on different levels. But what I was trying to say is we got a different comment on a different video, and it was like, expect a lot of alcoholics and depressed people to subscribe. Good luck. And I was like, I'm not sure if like you're being
Rude?
or like
Or supportive?
yeah. And like I just responded thank you, but I feel like I should have responded don't forget to press the bell icon. This video's turned into just hang out with us while we finish the charcuterie board.
Honestly, there should have been a hangout with us a long time ago.
Yeah, if we get enough followers or subscribers, we should definitely do like a live hangout video where we just talk about true crime, eat a charcuterie board, and drink wine.
I mean, you'll
And,
see
like, there's
how
no-
much we truly screw up on this.
Yeah, editing is for real. Editing is a blessing. But I'm thinking what we should do, if you guys are interested, let us know. But we should do just like where you and I both come here with crimes, like sit down and come with crimes that are like in our head, and we don't have to go into detail about them. We just like talk about crimes that are happening, like new ones. Because a lot of new ones, they're not like solved or anything. We can't really go into detail about them.
Yeah.
But just like bring them up and like make awareness about them, make them known.
I'm in. Did you watch the Cecil Hotel one?
No, that I haven't watched that video, but I've watched a lot of like documentaries and stuff about that.
Because I totally remember when that video came out. And I remember like when we used to talk about it. Because I remember we're like, there's somebody there.
Yeah.
Somebody. And I will forever to this day think that somebody is there because there is totally a shoe at one point in the, like when she comes out of the elevator.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because I ended up watching like that documentary on Netflix. So she like walks off of the elevator, like, and this is I want to say when she's like pinned up against the elevator, like, you know, like done freaking out and stuff like that. And they debunked a lot of it, and a lot of it too with the reason the elevator was staying open was because she was hitting so many buttons. She hit like the elevator hold, which was what like had kept it open. But they said like when she steps off of the elevator, you can see her 2 feet, and they literally go like this, like obviously like this, right? And on the very corner where like there's like the elevator door, you can see almost something that doesn't look like it should be there, and suddenly it's just not there.
Yeah, but like, do you think that's actually a person or like aliens or like?
But that's why I'm like, I don't know, because then they were also talking about how like the security video time jumps a lot in like the seconds, and so a lot of it is not matching.
Like extraterrestrial.
And so their logic and the way that they completely ruled this out, because I don't even think I kept up with like how it ended up being ruled out.
Well, they said it's solved, that like she did it herself.
Yeah, is that it was accidental drowning caused by bipolarness. So it was that she was bipolar and that she wasn't on her medications, and that a lot of her, like, of what her case was matched with a movie. Oh my god, I can't remember the movie anymore, but if you watch the Netflix documentary, they'll tell you what the movie is.
Is it like an extraterrestrial movie?
No, it's not an extraterrestrial movie, but it's basically about this movie about a little girl and her mom, and they move into like a hotel, and then like the little girl goes wandering through the hotel and then goes up to like the roof and opens up the water tower like latch.
Oh, really?
And falls into
I didn't know that was like possible though.
The water tower and drowns. But the whole thing that everyone's like doesn't understand about, because then their logic is that while she was in the water tower,
she took her clothes off, right?
Yeah, because people were using like their water for, you know, showers, dishes, and all this thing, and because it's pumped into the building, that the water level kept going up and down and was like rising and going. And so that like she must have been like stuck, almost like a riptide, kind of like stuck in between all that. And so that she must have been trying to take off her clothes to like alleviate like her weight and trying to get up more, and then eventually ended up drowning in the water tower. But the whole thing that people are like, it doesn't make sense or it's foul play is because when they did go up onto the roof to like search the water towers and the water tanks and stuff, the first time they didn't look at the water tanks, and then when people started complaining about like the water being brown and stuff like that, that's when they checked the water tanks.
Yeah.
All of the caps were closed.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody's like, how would she have done it herself? But they said that there's literally no other way.
Well, they also said that the door is like super heavy. Like there's no way she would have been able to open it like her size.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, she probably could have opened it. I mean, it's like saying I couldn't open something, but I mean, I might struggle a bit, okay?
Yeah, but why? But like, why would she be like throwing herself into the tower? I mean, in the water thing.
Well, because the logic was that maybe she was so like off of her medication, she might have been trying to create the movie, and I don't know. It was really crazy because in the movie too,
I think the hotel was just trying to find a way to fucking blame her.
Maybe, because that was the other thing is like everybody's like all about that hotel being like this, that, evil. And
I mean, what's his name?
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, like lived there.
Yeah.
So if you guys didn't know that,
maybe we'll do a video about him too.
We should do like a little serial killer series.
I want to do that on Sundays, serial killer Sundays.
Thank you everybody for watching, and we can't wait to see you next Wednesday. Bye.